Hi guys, I'm back again with domain and range with continuous data. This is going to be the first part. I'm only going to talk about one type of continuous data. So remember too that this is discrete data is points and continuous data would be a graph with some sort of line because it's a continuous range. This is where you need to do this. Again, this is review, but I will go over it kind of on here, the very beginning parts. But domain, remember domain is your x. Your x on the graph goes left to right. So your continuous data for this, when you graph it, it's going to be like this. And this point over here is going to be the furthest point to the left. This point over here is the furthest point to the right, right? Smallest to largest. Range is your y, and your range goes up and down. Your y is up and down. So for your range, it's the lowest point to the highest point. All right. So for example, we have this point. Pretend that this is a straight line. So if we're going to look at our domain, that's our x. We know it's going to end up like this. So we look at our furthest point to the left. Our furthest point to the left on this line, right? How far left is it? This is as far as left as it goes. So what's the x value here? At this point, it's 1, 2, it's -3. We also know, since it's a closed circle, that there's a line under the inequality. And we're looking at the domain left to right. So we look at the furthest point to the right. This is the furthest point to the right, right? So we go down and it's at 2. And again, it's a closed circle. So the line's under the inequality. Now we do the same thing for the range, except we look low to high. So the lowest point here is right here. And where is it on the y? At -2. Again, close, so that there's a line underneath. The highest point is right here, and that's at +3. So this would be our domain and range for this line. Domain's from -3 to +2. Range is from -2 to +3. Again, it's all a matter of making sure you understand that domain is left to right and range is from down to up. So here's another one. So if we look at our domain, the furthest point to the left, right? This is x. This is the furthest point to the left, right here at -3. It's an open circle, so I don't need the line underneath because that stands for equals to, and it doesn't equal that. So the furthest point to the right, this is the leftmost point on the x. This is the rightmost point on the x, which is 1. Now I'm going to look at my range. Starts off like this, and I look lowest to highest. So the lowest point on the y is right here at -1, right? That's the lowest point. The highest point is right here at +3. Lowest to highest. So same thing. I'm going to look at my x. I'm going to look, what's the leftmost point? The leftmost point's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, a -4. It is a closed circle. Now what's my rightmost point? My rightmost point is right here at +1. It's an open circle, so I don't need the equal to, the line under the inequality. Again, x, left to right. My y is lowest to highest. So my lowest point that this line goes is right here. It's also at -4. It's also a closed circle. And my highest point is +4. Lowest to highest, smallest to largest for both of these. Do another one. So same thing. Left to right for the domain. Left, right here at -3, it's closed. Rightmost point's right here at +3. So when you're looking at the domain, you're only looking at the x and you're only looking left to right. So the y, you're only looking at the y and you're only looking from low to high. Low to high. So the lowest point is right here at -1 and it's solid, so there's a line underneath. The highest point is 3. Again, the key is just to know that x is left to right and that y is down to up. Just don't get confused about where the line's starting or what it's crossing or how it's shaped. Just look left to right on the x and down to up on the y. For instance, really quickly, let me put in something else here. If the line starts here to here, it's the same thing. I'm still going to look from furthest point to the left is this point at -4. Furthest point to the right is this point at -2. And they're both open circles. It doesn't matter that it didn't go into a positive number. I'm just looking for furthest left and furthest right. My y, lowest, which is +1, right? This is the lowest point, and highest is +3. Another one. So this one is the exception to what we've been doing, a horizontal line. I've told you in class that when you have a horizontal line, your x, you still have a domain, right? It still has a left point and a right point. The left point is here at -3. The most right point is here at +3. It looks like this is supposed to be solid, so so this would be equals to +3. Right, horizontal, left to right. It still has a domain. It doesn't have a range, right? The range is a horizontal line. It crosses this 3 here. It doesn't go lower than the 3. It doesn't go higher than a 3. When a horizontal line has a range that is 3. So your y equals 3. You're going to see this later in the class as one of the things that you're just going to have to get used to and remember. But if you notice that it has a domain, a left and right, and put that down, then when you look for down and up and you see that it's the same thing, right? It doesn't go lower than 3. It doesn't go higher than 3. Then you put the equals. So a vertical line would be opposite. A vertical line, it does have a range because it does go up and down. It goes down to -3 and it goes up to +3. Solid, so there's a line, but it does not have a range, right? It starts at 3. It's not less than 3. It's not more than 3. It is 3. And you will see this again, like I said, just remember that the vertical line has an x that equals something, and a horizontal line has a y that equals something. I think I have one more tiny one example here, like what we were doing before. It does have, this one's just a line like before. So I'm going to look at my domain. I'm going to look furthest point left is right here, +2, solid. So I have this line. Furthest point right, +4. Lowest point, 1, with a line underneath. And highest point, 3. Right? Left to right, and then down to up. That's what you just got to remember. All right. That's it for this one. This is part 1.